All right, hey guys, we got Steve back. He was with us like briefly the other night. Was that last week?
I think it was Tuesday night, actually. I got on with you and Bruce. Made my quarter
Tuesday night.
random day.
I legitimately thought it was like Tuesday for a second. Like I thought today was like the beginning of the week. Like I'm so tired. I'm sorry.
I apologize if I'm on a Wi-Fi. I'm in a remote location right now, so if my Wi-Fi kicks out, I might have to go off camera. But
Yeah, you
yeah,
froze up in an interesting position. That's all right though. No worries.
happening again. Hang on.
Yeah, you can go off cam. That's fine. No worries if it helps.
Let me see if that works. Well, thank you. By the way, first of all, let me just say this quickly. Thank you so much for having me here on your channel. I've been a big fan for a long time, for a couple of years now. And just to share some behind the scenes stuff for people watching this show or watching this channel and, familiar with Lauren, I will tell you firsthand, everybody in the world should be so lucky to have a friend like Lauren Neidigh. Lauren is a wonderful human being, despite what Mr. Gingras wants to say. Lauren is a great human being. A couple of weeks ago, my wife had surgery, and the morning of the surgery, I get a text from Lauren saying, "Hey, good luck with everything today." So I just want to tell you, everyone in the world deserves or would be so lucky to have a friend like you.
And I appreciate that, man. I mean, it's been good to connect and all that. So I like I said, I mean, I didn't say this here, but behind the scenes and all, I'm just like kind of having a hard time. So it's tricky, but
Yeah,
I'm
totally get it.
I'm definitely being painted out to be made some kind of demon thing, but I'm actually like not that bad. So
Yeah,
it's all
totally understand. No, and I think it's completely off point. But anyhow, so let me do this. I want to bring everyone up to speed as to what happened today.
right.
I was in the courthouse with room 414. It took us a minute or two to find it because they didn't have it up on the docket. Then they couldn't find it on the big board, so we had to ask me. And there was another gentleman named Dave. Shout out to my guy Dave, who drove about an hour and a half to get here today
The
from
one you told me
Central
about
Valley.
from last week?
Yeah, he was here. He was here last week. He was there again today, and he's like, "I can't find it." And I'm like, "All right, it says 405." So we're walking around. So eventually, we found the court. We walked in just as they got started, and Laura was on camera. Omar was on camera. There was some talk, and I believe one of the Instagram channels posted this up. There was some talk about the 473 motion, and just some kind of back and forth. Long and short of it is, Laura was not necessarily. This isn't necessarily her fault, but I guess because Gingras was involved,
Yeah.
that she was not served properly that document,
Okay.
and so they would not be able to. They might have to postpone that. So Omar agreed to withdraw. There was probably about 15 minutes going back and forth on this document. So the 473. I don't even know what the 473 was. Maybe do you remember what
Wasn't
that
that
was? Or
is that
Bruce?
where they were trying to dismiss the original order? Is that correct?
That might be. Yeah, that might be what it is. I don't know if Bruce. I saw Bruce in the
I could be
chat.
wrong, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So the 473 motion, they decided to table that.
Okay. Oh shit, we lost Steve for a sec. He'll be back. I wonder if he knows he's frozen.
Oh, I'm going on. I'm gonna have to go off camera again.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Okay. We lost you for a second there.
All right, so I'm off camera. Sorry, guys. The other thing that came up was, okay, so Judge Gold said, all right, so let's withdraw it. And Omar said, we're ready to go to trial for the case for the DVRO, and Mr. Marraccini is deserved to hear that. And Judge Gold agreed and said, yep, absolutely. And, she said, Miss Owens did not properly serve notice to the court. She did a declaration, and apparently that was incorrect. And so she did not serve the proper notice to extend the trial. So Judge Gold said, no, I'm not going to extend it. And so bottom line is the case will be happening in about 10 days or so on the 21st.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
A couple other big things some big things that came from this. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Lauren, but I know.
No, I wasn't really saying anything. I was just kind of thinking out loud.
A couple other things that came from this was, okay, and I see in the chat, Bruce says the 473 is the motion to dismiss. Okay, so that's going to be tabled, but Omar was saying if the DVR is not granted, it doesn't matter. We might, we're fine. So we'll see what happens there. So Judge Gold said, yep, the motion, the trial will happen. We're not going to extend it just so you can get counsel. You've had long enough time, basically, was what Judge said to notice this. Judge Gold also said we are not going to rehash things that happened in 2018 and 2020. I want to know what happened between 2020 and 2025 to cause this need for a permanent, DVRO. And I have a good nugget about that in a second that Judge Gold said. I'm going to take a sip of my water first, and then I'll be back.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
So the other thing that Judge Gold said, that, we're not going to rehash. She said about 8 times, we're not rehashing what happened before. We're not rehashing. And, Omar brought up that he only put it in documents because he wanted to show, witness credibility. And Judge Gold said, okay, yeah, I mean, if there's things to impeach a witness in a certain area, I understand that. But, Ms. Owens, the burden is on you to show what happened between 2020 and 2025 that had this. And she said, I don't want declarations. She said, I'm not sure how this was originally granted in the first place, if it was done via declarations, but and then they said, well, it was stipulated too. So she's like, okay, that makes sense. So, but she said, no, I need witnesses. And Laura claims that she was going to have 8 witnesses show up at the trial. So I don't know.
Wait, how's that supposed to work? Them showing up at the trial if her witnesses are like 8 of her horses, like how's that going to work logistically? Yeah.
So witnesses can show, third-party witnesses can be remote. Just now. So I'll get to my next nugget here in a second. So third-party witnesses can be remote. So like Gingras can be remote if he wants to, I guess, and not Medchill. Who's the other? Barry Hill can be remote as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So third-party witnesses are allowed to be remote. However, the parties, Laura said that Omar requested that all parties be in person. And Judge Gold said, okay, I agree to that. And Miss Owens said, no, I can't be there because there's going to be 2 witnesses on Omar's list. Omar said he's going to have about 8 witnesses as well.
Yeah.
Laura said, or Miss Owens said, I can't be there in person because there's going to be 2 witnesses who I believe will be attending on behalf of Mr. Marraccini, and I have restraining orders against them. And Judge Gold said, so what? It's the court. It's the courthouse. It doesn't matter. I have a bailiff here, and the most someone's going to be near you is 10 to 12 feet. So no, when it's in the court, if it's in the hallways, no, there's precautions. So that is a good thing for Mike because one of the big things she's talking about is how he ran into her in the parking lot or whatever. And how David put it in his thing, how she was 10 feet away from him in the courtroom. So no, Judge Gold's not going to buy that already. She didn't make it sound like she knew that was in any of the documents yet. But she was not. That part of it, the fact that there are going to be witnesses that have restraining orders against them, he was like, no problem. We got it. Like,
they haven't put out any witness list or anything yet, so that's not even confirmed,
No, so the witness list is going to be due either the day of the court or I believe 5 days ahead of time. But I think that was a little shaky because if it was remote for everybody, it was going to be like 5 days. But now I think since everyone's there, it's just due the day of trial. But I'm sure there's something that could come out about that between now and then. So anyhow, that's kind of it. The other thing, I'm trying to think if I was missing any other nugget. But yeah, Judge Gold, again, wanted no nonsense. Laura did bring up, she tried to chime in when Omar was speaking and tried to talk over him a little bit and say, yeah, but he was on a podcast for 2.5 hours, and she's like, I don't know what, judge kind of stopped her and said, Miss Owens, I understand you're pro per right now, but this is like, it's not your turn. And kind of, Judge Gold was like, no nonsense today. And
can I show him that I'm pregnant?
She was, yeah, it kind of made me think like that. So she was no nonsense. And so it's going to be on for next week. We'll see. Laura says she's going to have 8 to 10 witnesses, and she was very firm about that. But of course, she said that once Omar said, my witness list is about 8 people. So afterwards, so she could also have down the same people that Omar has as witnesses as well. But, unless we have Gingras and Napkin Lady and all these other people come out of the woodworks, it doesn't matter, because also Judge Gold said, I want what happened between, I'm not rehashing, I want what happened between, 2020 to 2025, and I want this at, the burden is on you to show that this is needed. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe she's actually going to go through with this and rep herself. I got to think that she has something, coming out of the woodwork or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. My gut is that, I don't know. I'll hold that, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm curious. Yeah, so the excuse of not having an attorney, it doesn't matter. So either she can have an attorney or she can't. But yeah.
That's just that's just bizarre though. Like, really think about it. Like, the way that she conducted herself in court in Clayton's case, now her representing herself, that is going to be a disaster for her.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, and I saw in the chat there was a comment about the time. It starts at, I believe that it starts at 9 a.m. on the 21st, and it's going to be 2 days. And that was what Judge Gold was saying. Then Laura asked, well, do I need to tell people exactly the time? And she said, no, they just either be on Zoom, and like we can't, no, we don't know the time that someone's going to appear. Like, it's a case, and it's 2 days. We set aside 2 days, and yeah, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, I remember I was asked to appear in this custody case once a long time ago. It's been like 3 years or something. 2 years maybe, and I had to wait all day and see when I was going to be called, and then eventually the judge ended up, it was like that bad for the other side that the judge ended up ruling without ever having to like hear from a lot of us. So it kind of sucked though, because you have to kind of wait around for it. Yeah,
and I went through my own sort of thing in family court a couple of years ago, and that's a really good point, Lauren. When I was there at the hearing on August 15th, and there were 21 other cases that were being heard that day, and I just remember, this is why I have an issue with Laura bringing this case in the first place. I mean, not in the first place, but bringing it up again. Is when I sat when I was there for that day in the trial, and I was texting you that day, we were going back and forth. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of tension in the courthouse. There was 21 other cases. People are looking at me like, what did I do wrong? And I'm like, I'm just here to watch something. And, there was a lot of tension in that. And it was just, you could cut the tension with a knife. And I remember when I sat for my custody case, and mine was just a custody modification. Mm. There were 9 other cases that were heard before mine, and you're just sitting there with your just like nerves are just going haywire, like waiting for them to call you. And that's why I think for Laura, sorry, I did what Omar does. Calls her Lauren. Sorry, but what Laura is doing is taking time away from real victims, and I think that's shameful. And that's just my opinion on it. I believe it's shameful. I believe there's nothing to this DVRO. And I have a problem with it. And because I think about the other cases that were there. And I think I was texting you that day, Lauren, and I said, there were some sides where you could see a real victim. They didn't have a lawyer, and the other side did. And it's gut wrenching. So anyhow, that's my 2 cents. That's my soapbox. I'll get off of it, and unless there's any other questions, thanks again for having me on.
Somebody says, can Mike have this erased from his record since the judge doesn't want to know previous history? That's not exactly how that works. They would have to bring it up again at a later time, I guess. if they wanted to get rid of the original one. But no, like it's still on his record right now. Like there is no renewal on his record right now, but the previous one stands, or on the record, anyways. My 8 witnesses: dog, happy, grumpy, bashful, sleepy, sneezy, and baby Jingy. Well, thank you for that, Vic Laura Owens. I hope you're feeling better from your bleeding. Yeah. So I guess I don't really know what to expect. I've never attended anything like this before, so I have no idea how this is going to go for anybody. But I hope it goes well.
Yeah, likewise. Like I said, knowing what Judge Gold said today, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting if her case is happening on what happened at the courthouse on June 10th of last year. If like that's her big thing, then yeah, we'll see. It should be interesting.
Knows that Mike doesn't have to be subpoenaed to attend this trial.
No, he's party to the case, so yeah, I guess he would be there.
Somebody asked how Omar did.
I thought Omar did good. Again, Judge Gold was no nonsense, so he took some stuff too about that 473, not being served properly. Judge Gold, again, no nonsense, but I think Omar was fine. He did a good job representing himself, or representing Mike, I should say. And, he again, Omar's very well thought out, speaks very clearly. The first time when I first saw Omar at the hearing on the 15th of August, it was really surreal to me because I'm so used to seeing Omar like as the tilted lawyer. So to see him actually doing his job was very like interesting, and like it's just kind of heartwarming in a way. But yeah, I thought he did a good job today. I mean, he knew what he wanted to say and knew what he wanted to cover. And unfortunately, it's a shame about that. The 473, there was some interesting part of it, how it wasn't served, or it was supposed to be served properly, and then it was served electronically, but Laura was not set up by the court to receive something electronically. There was a whole back and forth on that. And when the minutes come in next week, I'll share it and see if we can see what exactly was said.
Cool. I'm seeing on one of the Instagrams here, the judge called Jingers's filings a sideshow. She wasn't having it. Okay. Well, I mean, so for the record, I also think they're a sideshow. Can we get rid of them, please? Because there is an official public record out there that says I'm a criminal. I would like to remove that.
Yeah, I think that might have been part of the ones that I missed. Again, we walked in and just had either just started or was starting, and we heard about the 470. Or she said something about, if that's not part of it, then I don't need to rule on that. As I was taking my seat, I think that's what she was talking about, the stuff with Gingras being a sideshow.
This shit's a total abuse of court resources. But they'll deal with it or they won't. All I can do is try. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to hop off. Thanks, Lauren, again for having me on. Let me come off camera and see if this works here and just wave goodbye to the audience. Thanks again. Greetings from downtown San Francisco, everyone. If anyone is coming out for the 21st, come on out. There are a lot better places to eat than the House of Prime Rib for anyone else who's in there. I have been there 3 times. The last time I was at the House of Prime Rib was August 1st, 2023, which if you follow this case is the day that she filed the paperwork. But the reason why I went on August 1st, 2023 is August 1st is my birthday. So I went a couple of years ago for my birthday. It's not as good as it used to be pre-pandemic. It's kind of now they're like, get you in, get you out. But it is a San Francisco institution. It's kind of similar to the Buena Vista Bar, Irish coffee.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, did we lose him again? Steev, come
Dale
back.
Sizzler is the way I would
describe.
Dude,
I lost you at Irish coffee.
Oh, Irish coffee at the Buena Vista Bar. That's a San Francisco tradition, as is riding a cable car.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Appreciate
love you.
Coming. All right. Love you too. Bye.
All right. Later.
Oh, I'm going to go too now. Bye. Sorry. I got to be somewhere. So see ya.